Well, Chris, Hall of Fame, congratulations.
Yeah, it doesn't seem quite right, does it? Obviously it's a great honor. The Hunters were so good to me when my last year playing with them. I had so many good memories, and obviously it's great to see the success that not only they're having, but how the whole organization's having.
They still look back at that year with you and what you did for a lot of the young guys on the team. What do you remember from that year?
To be honest, I remember the team not going so well, and I wanted an opportunity to win. And I remember I went into Mark and Dale's office and I asked them, listen, if there be any opportunity that I could be moved to an opportunity to win, and they said, can you give us a month? I said, absolutely. And I look back on that and I think it taught me a lot about, I went in there on my own. I didn't get anyone else to go in and speak to them. And that's kind of a message I give to the younger players now that I deal with, is sometimes you got to kind of man up and deal with things on your own. And I think they appreciated that. And, I heard that they went to bat for me after they traded me. And, they seemed to they got Dennis Weidman, and he did a great job for this organization after we left. And, I think it was an opportunity for both sides to have a good future down the road.
When you look at some of the other things you're able to tell players now, your road to the National Hockey League was like a lot of guys, where it's not just, hey, tomorrow, guess what? You're finished your junior career, here comes the NHL. And it almost feels like it will be for so many guys. What was it that kept you going and eventually got you to say, you know what, I can still do this, and then you do it?
I think I love to play hockey. An important thing was I think you got to be where you're at, and so many people look to the next step and they want to make the NHL, and there's nothing wrong with that. But enjoy the moment. I think I learned a lot playing junior hockey. I played in overage year. I played in the United League. Not too many people know what that league is. I played 4 years in the American Hockey League, and I truly made great friends and great relationships during that time. And when it was my time to make the NHL, I was truly ready, and I could appreciate it a lot more, and I was able to do that.
The flu game. You have to take advantage of the opportunities you are given. The Ottawa Senators, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the flu. Explain what it was that kind of gave you a huge opportunity that you took advantage of that night.
Yeah, obviously I got called up. They had some injuries, and I think it was the last game before the break. And you get called up, and it's my first game, and I think be lucky to get 5 minutes of ice time. But I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm extremely happy. And sure enough, you start seeing guys leave the bench one by one. Next thing you got a little more room on the bench, and your numbers getting called a little bit more. And I think we went up 4-0, and feeling good about myself and about the team and the way. And ultimately, Nolan came back, and we lost 5-4 in overtime. But it was one of those games that you truly remember. I think I ended up with between 14 and 15 minutes, and I was pretty happy with that.
And it showed you could play in the National Hockey League. Next thing you know, you're a regular in the NHL. Then you're off to Boston, where you're back to now. You win the Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. Is that, still looking back, the thing that you think about the most, or are there other parts of your career that you think about?
Well, I think it's a big part of my career is part of that group. But I think not just winning. I think the whole process of going through the 2 months of playoffs, being traded there, the journey of that season, and the relationships I made with those guys were obviously still pretty close. When you win something like that, it gives you that bond. But winning the Stanley Cup, Game 7 in Canada was pretty special.
And then you've got to take us back to that night, because you guys had to leave the city pretty quickly. John Busick comes into the dressing room. You guys are celebrating. What happened?
Well, I think we're celebrating, trying to enjoy ourselves, obviously. And John Busick was our travel guy, and he said, listen, guys, you're going to have to wrap this up relatively quick. And we gave Chief a hard time. Yeah. But he's like, no, we're going to lose our escort to the airport. They're riding outside. And so sure enough, we got showered up real quick, got on the bus, and right to the airport and flew home. And obviously it was a pretty sad moment for the city of Vancouver. And they're such a great city, great hockey fans there, and a few bad apples ruined it for so many people, but it ended it pretty quick, and felt like we, to be honest, stole the cup, and we were again escorted out of the city.
And then finally, the Olympics. Not many people can say won a Stanley Cup. They played as many years as you did, and they played in the Olympics. Take us back to the Olympics.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think it was one of those unique situations, not only for me, but I think for the rest of the guys on the team, that we never thought we'd be playing in the Olympics representing Canada. There's certain guys that make those teams, and I don't want to knock anyone short, but I think we did a great job representing our country. We knew the situation. I look back and I'm really proud of how that group handled it. We lost to Germany in that semifinal game, and give Germany credit. They played a really, really good game, and but for us to bounce back and be able to win a bronze the next night after a tough loss, I was really proud of the group, and it was one of those experiences that I could share with my kids, and maybe I don't need to tell them down the road that the NHL players didn't go.
And now back with the Boston Bruins, player development. You having fun?
I'm having a lot of fun. Dealing with the younger players has been really good. I did player development with Ottawa last year, so I got to deal with John Gruden, who's on this team, and Alex Formanton, and he's doing unbelievable this year in Belleville. So, it's great to see your rewards now are through other players, but there's nothing wrong with that. You want to see these young players achieve, ultimately what I got to be able to achieve, and got to live my dream.
Chris, congratulations.
Thanks.